So we come to the third video, the boxing and wrestling magazine. Archie Moore, Harold Johnson. So we got Archie Moore champ. Yeah, 10 years he had the title. When he got it at 30, so he did well, really. He was a bit like the Black Marderers Road type guy, really, to be fair. Was avoided, but fought at heavyweight, obviously against Marciano later, and lost. He put Marciano down, and fought Floyd Patterson and got stopped in heavyweight, and a guy called Cassius Clay at the time, who would change his name to Muhammad Ali, but he fought him when his name was Cassius Clay. But here he has the title for 10 years at light heavyweight. He's a champion here. Harold Johnson, you got Joey Maxine, to Danny Nardico, who stopped Jake LaMotta, the only man to do it. 4, Yolan Pompey, who'd fight him. Archie Moore, Jimmy Slade. 5, Billy Smith. 6, Tommy Harrison, who would fight at heavyweight. And he'd fight Floyd Patterson also. Tommy Harrison gets stopped. Westbury Bascom. Next, Dick Wagner, and you got Floyd Patterson as a light heavyweight, but they soon moved him up. And he won. Floyd Patterson won the Olympics at middleweight. So we got the middleweights, Randy Turpin, who would stop Sugar Ray Robinson's unbeaten run. Robinson won nearly 40 on the trot, and then he won another 90 pretty much, with a couple of draws in there. But Randy Turpin would beat him, but then get beaten in the rematch by stoppage. The 60-day champion, they called him Randy Turpin. He took the rematch straight away in Britain again and lost. But even in that second fight, he cut him. He cut Robinson, but again, champions are made of stuff when it's needed, and Robinson stopped him. So the title was vacant here. So you got Randy Turpin 1, Charles Hummes 2, Carl Bubba Wilson, the Hawaiian Punch 3, Paddy Young 4, Ernie Durando 5, and Norman Hay 6, Perry Langlois 7, Bobby Dykes 8, Rocky Castellani 9, Joey Gambria 10. So we're going to go for the welterweights. Kid Gavalian, champion, Billy Graham, who actually beat Sugar Ray Robinson in the amateurs. It said he was unbeaten 85-0, some say, but he was beaten a couple of times. If you really look into the reports. Then you got number 2, Johnny Saxton, apparently run by the mob, but still a great fighter. As unfortunately a lot of fighters were, the IBC for Customato fought him and beat him. Jill Turner 3, Art Aragon 4, Johnny Bratton 5, Chuck Davey 6, Carmen Basilio, the Onion Farmer, tough fighter 2-8, Linear Undisputed champ, Joe Michele 7, Wallace Bud Smith 9, and 10, Dale Flanagan. So we're going to go to lightweights. Jimmy Carter. Again, he's got the record of the most times holding the lightweight lineal title. Jimmy Carter. Again, I think he was run a bit by the mob, but he's a cracking fighter. As I say, Jim Norris used to run the show back in these days. Mr. Gray. But again, so we got number 1, George Roggio. Number 2, Paddy DeMarco. Number 3, Orlando Zaletta. Number 4, Johnny Gonsalves. V-A-S. Johnny Gonsalves. Yeah. And 5, Henry Davis. 6, Eddie Chavez. Armand Savoy, 7. Virgil Akins, 8. And 9, Arthur King. 10, Joe O'Bones Brown. So then we got featherweight division. Cracking fighter, Sandy Sadler. They have some classics of Willie Pep. One of them that gets slung out on many states where it's so dirty. The Sandy Sadler, the real dirty one of their matches, which they fought. Bruce Lee used to keep on tape because it was a classical dirty boxing for self-defense, he believed, and he had to keep that on tape. So again, Sandy Sadler, champion. Percy Bassett, number 1. Tommy Collins, number 2. Willie Pep, number 3 in the featherweight division. Johnny Macho, 4. Red Top Davis, 5. Roy Ankara, 6. I remember an old timer I used to work with talking about him, Roy Ankara. And 7, Bobby Y. 8, Pat Marcune. 9, Corky Gonzalez. And 10, Glenn Flanagan. So when you go to the bantamweights, world champion Jimmy Carruthers, an Aussie, cracking little fighter. Vic Tao, Henry Pappy Gault, 2, and Robert Cohen, 3. Only them 3 rated there. Only worthwhile contenders, they're saying here. So it's obviously by their opinion. Flyweight world champion Yoshio Shira, world champ. Then 3 here. Number 1, Jake Tully, number 1. Terry Allen from England's 2. Lewis Skinner, 3. Lovely. Oh, and it's got congratulations of Roland Starzer for his sterling performance in beating Rex Lane to maintain the light heavyweight standing. Yeah, he never won the title, Roland Starzer, though. The main one. So from here, Walter Cartier preserved his standing in the middleweight ranks when he scored sensationally against Gene Harston in a garden thriller, Madison Square Garden. There's been about 4 of them in all now. This is the old Madison Square Garden. A picture of Walter Cartier there. Then you got Charlie Hummes, preserved his high standing in the middleweight circles when he whipped Laurent Defil. Now, Laurent Defil was a French fighter who actually fought Jake LaMotta, and he was really winning the fight. With 20 seconds to go or so, at the end, Jake LaMotta played possum on the ropes, and then Defil went in for him to finish him, and he come in and just finished the fight 4 seconds for the end. Yeah, I mean, just like Chavez finished Meldrick Taylor in the 12th round, but this is a bit different. He literally put him over, and yeah, put him on his back. Put Randy Turpin there. Cracking fighter, Randy Turpin. Yeah, and it was either his dad or his grandfather was in the Battle of the Somme. Randy's brothers there, Lionel John, on the Queen Mary there. So, there's a picture of Robinson. After he fought Joey Maxim, the referee got out of the ring. The referee had to get a substitute referee because it was so hot, and a replacement referee, and then, yeah, Robinson retired. The only man to stop him, by the way, Joey Maxim, at light heavy. He was trying to get his 3rd weight division title against Joey Maxine. The only man to stop Joey Maxine was Charles the Hatchet Shepherd. But he came out and caught him cold, I think, by what I read about it. Cracking champion though. So got the middleweight muddle, that's the headlines here. Slim, tender, formidable, hard-hitting Bobby Dykes. You've got the picture of Robinson and Turpin there. July the 10th, one of them fights were. You've got Carl Bubble Olsen v Gene Harston, Madison Square Garden. Johnny Castellani v Billy Graham. They share a draw there. And Durando and Young there. Fight. Sammy Guilani and Johnny Williams stage a hectic slugfest, and Sammy's hard-hitting stopped Johnny in their bouts. Joey Gordello, again another one believed to be sort of run by the mob and that. He fought Rubin Hurricane Carter, but in the film about Hurricane Carter by Denzel Washington, there was a bit they ended up suing. Joey Gordello sued them, or the family of Joey Gordello, should I say, sued them, because there was a big thing about the decision being a really bad decision. Yeah, but yeah, Gordello won against Rubin Hurricane Carter. I mean, Hurricane Carter must have been a banger because he did stop Emil Griffiths, cracking champion Emil Griffith. Great book out at the moment called It's a Man's World. Emil Griffiths was in these times, and he was a homosexual, and he obviously had to sort of cover it up in these days. But then there was the fight with Benny Parrott, which was a tragedy. Obviously, Parrott saying things about his masculinity in the pre-fight, and it ended up quite a tragedy, taking a lot of shots, and yeah, that's all to say about that. But I digress. I come back to this. Yeah, and it was more like the with that fight, there was a lot not stuff said before, which left a bad taste in people's mouths. Obviously, you had the Davey Moore tragedy not too far from this. But anyway, let's back to this. Joey Gordello. There. Willie Troy. Better prospects, it says here. And Randy Sandy. And principals in the Whirlwind Affair. Kicker Valiant up there. Yeah, I said it before, he loved like a bolo punch. Charlie White. So Charlie White there, nice bit. And you've got Freddie Welsh up there. Again, he travelled. So master of the left hand wizardry and artful was the best description you could say about Freddie Welsh. Benny Leonard. Amazing ring craft of Benny Leonard will be discussed for many years when they start comparing the famous ring stars. Yeah, I've got him right up there, Benny Leonard. And Powell Moran. So that's the end of the third Boxing and Wrestling magazine videos. Bang.